here from Rain Country Homestead, and today I'm going to show you how to make an all-natural organic treats for your pets. This should be good for both cats and dogs. Mine are for my pups. I don't have cats, but I'm pretty sure your kitty cats would like them too. So let's get started. And as you saw when I was making the meatballs, did I do one on meatballs? I don't recall. It was something similar. Meatballs, meatloaf, something where, oh, fritters, that's what. I mean, a lot of this stuff is just done very similar. Fritters, meatballs, meatloaf, dog cookies, pet treats I should call them. And I'm going to use a white rice flour in this. You want to really stay away from corn for your animals. And so I try to, and I'm still not really sure what all grains are best for dogs because I haven't looked into it, but I know rice is a safe one, so I'm doing the rice. I do the rice flour in this, the white rice flour. So I'm just getting that mixed in. A little bit of salt. I don't worry too much about, again, because I use a good healthy salt that's full of minerals. I mostly don't put it in there for flavor as I do for them to get those good minerals in there. And to this batch, I'm going to go ahead and add turmeric. Turmeric is very, very healthy for your pets. For the same reason it's very, very healthy with you. And I get a lot of people in my comments that will ask me, want a lot of specifics. And when I'm making these videos, I'm focusing more on what I'm doing. And so I'll just throw a few little things out because I know a lot about, I don't know everything about every herb there is. And there's a lot of herbs I don't know anything about. But I'll throw the things out that I know the most, you know, the things that come to the top of my head while I'm doing this. But, you know, turmeric is a natural antibiotic. It is, you know, helps prevent cancer and diabetes. It can help manage your diabetes. It is good for pain and inflammation. The list goes on and on. It's very, very extensive. I just threw a chunk over there. Initially what I was going to do is show you all the herbs like I did in the one recipe video, and then just speed up the mixing process. But I want to talk about the herbs as I'm putting them in, at least a little bit. This is basil. This is mixed greens. This is one way I can get the dogs to get lots of good healthy greens. So I'm going to put a lot in there. And these are all from the garden. That includes the dandelion leaves and the plantain and this is garlic, by the way. I want to get back to this one, so I'm going to set aside because I want to explain some things about garlic and onion, partly using this for flavor. But I want to finish on some more on the mixed greens. I put these, as I've said in other videos, and even what to do with all those greens. There's a lot of good stuff in here. You can put carrot tops, beet greens, collard, kale, especially those things your family doesn't really like to eat or you don't like to eat. And I just dry them all up and mix them together. Strawberry leaves, grape leaves, stinging nettle, just a whole bunch of stuff. And it's all that stuff is really good for your pets. So, and then I'm not going to remember every single great benefit of all these other herbs like sage. I've studied them all before. A lot of them have properties that are so similar that they cross over. So it's hard for me to keep them all straight. I just know they're all good and full of minerals, and most of them have some type of antibiotic property to it, and immune boosting properties. And the dogs, they really like red pepper. And since it's got lots of vitamin C and also helps boost the immune system, I'm adding that in there too. Now, back to the garlic and the onion. I recommend before you add these to your pet's cookies, do a little more research on it. Some people recommend it, and some people say you should stay away from it for your dogs. It's not good for them. I personally believe it's very healthy because garlic, a lot of us know about the immune boosting properties of garlic, and you know, our dogs, when we got them, they had already had their first two sets of vaccines, and my choice was I would have never had them have vaccines except for possibly when, you know, at a certain age, not as young as they're giving them, parvo, at least to get them through puppyhood, but they only need one shot. They don't need constant boosters. And then rabies at a year old. Those are the only two I could think even justified vaccines, and most of them should wait till at least a year old. And yeah, because you give them to them too young and it's really hard. That can actually have an adverse effect on their immunities over time. So, but my dogs will not be getting any more vaccines, and so I do everything I can, like adding the colloidal silver to their water and making cookies with, you know, their dog treats with things that, like the onion and the garlic and all this other stuff that helps them build their immunities. So then at this point, this is actually a lot drier than I thought it was going to be. So I might go ahead and add another egg in there. And you can, you know, just tailor make this to suit you and your dogs. Well, I don't know if you're going to eat them, but you can see what's going in this. This is good enough for you to eat. You might like to just go, hey, I want to make some more dog treats just for me, so I can have my special cookies. They're not a sweet cookie, obviously, but I mean, it's just a good, healthy thing to eat. It's just a good, healthy treat all the way around, whoever it's for. But again, you know, research the different herbs and stuff that you want to add that you think your pet needs the most and that they'll like. I know dogs, once you've got it mixed into meat, they don't care. They'll eat it. As long as there's meat. Which reminds me a lot of my youngest son. When he was little, he used to come up to me and say, hey, Mom, what you making for dinner? And I'd be trying to explain to him what I'm making. And he'd be like little, like 5 or 6 years old. And finally he'd say, Mom, is there meat in it? And I'll say, yes, there's meat in it. Okay, that's all I needed to know. And then he'd walk off. As long as it had meat in it, he was happy. He's a carnivore for sure. So what I used to do with these, I'm going to show you how I used to do it, is I've got my stoneware pan. And I used to, this is takes a lot longer. But I used to, you know, again, you got to consider the size of your pet. Cat, if it's a cat or a small dog, just little treats. I used to do this. However, I kind of got smart and realized the easiest thing to do is to just take the big glob and throw it on there. Let me move this over. And then just spread it out as thin as you can. You can even grab your rolling pin, which I think I'm going to do. And I think I should be able to get all of this on one pan. And then you just roll it out. Your rolling pin will fit good enough in there. Alright, now that I have this spread pretty evenly throughout the whole pan, I'm going to grab my pizza cutter, and again, consider the size of your pet and cut these accordingly. And I'm going to cut them now, but then I'm going to have to cut them again after they're done baking. This will just give me a starting point, otherwise it'll be very hard. So I'm trying to keep these fairly small. They're just little doggies, and you know, we like to give them treats. These, you can also cut them bigger and then just break them into pieces. You can do it, there's several ways. Actually, you could even just bake it just like this and then break it into little pieces, whatever size you want, because they don't care what it's shaped like, right? We're the only, all those funny fancy schmancy shapes they make, that's for us. It's not for your dog. Dog doesn't care what it looks like. So I'm just kind of cutting it away from the side. Now I'm going to put this on top, directly on top of the wood stove, because it's not super hot. If it was super hot, I would put it on a trivet and basically just bake it until it's fully dried and cooked all the way through. You want them good and hard. So since I've never done these in a conventional oven and I just make this recipe up as I go, it's different every time like everything else I do. I cannot tell you for sure what temperature to set your oven at, but I'm guessing somewhere between 250 and 300, and then just bake them, and I would say check them every 10 to 15 minutes and see how that goes. And that's just a guess. So for me, I just put them on the wood stove and I set the timer and come back and check them every so often. You know, for me, it might even be every half hour because it's going to cook a little slower on top of the wood stove the way I do it. And that's fine. It's basically you're just drying them all the way through. And then once that's done, I'll show you what I do with them. All right, so the dog cookies are done and I have them pretty well cooled off. So I'm going to put them in the jar, in a jar, in a couple jars. And you want to make sure they're good and cooled off before you seal them up. Okay, and then I put the lid on. And once you get them vacuum sealed, they will last, they can sit on the shelf for a very long time, but you want to make sure they stay sealed. The other option you can do is you can keep them in the freezer until you need them. And then once I open them, I put them, I keep them in the refrigerator so the dogs know when it's treat time. They always go wait by the refrigerator. So, and I'll do that with the rest of these. And then the other thing is, since I'm reusing these lids, I think I showed this before in another video, if you need to clean off some ink from your lids, spray a little rubbing alcohol on there, rub it around, rubbing alcohol, and then just wipe it off. And then you can remark it, you know, dog cookies or cat cookies or whatever. So, yeah, it's that simple. And again, just play with the recipe, add what you think your dog or cat needs, and then you've got some nice little treats for them. All right, so thanks for watching. Take care, and God bless.